And it's just basketball. At the end of the day, it's just basketball.
Like and subscribe on the way in the door, my people. I hope you all are having a truly fantastic day today. Welcome back, my people. So, hadn't really intended to talk much about the playoffs, except for when the Lakers lose. Rest assured, there will be videos coming about that. But I must say, I think I watched the first game of basketball that I enjoyed in quite some time in the NBA. And that game was the Pistons versus the Knicks. I must say that game, Detroit was getting after it. And, depending on how it goes, I may actually become a fan of this current version of the Detroit Pistons. With Cade Cunningham and Tobias Harris and Jalen Duren and Tim Hardaway Jr., like those guys were getting after it. Like they were playing some D. And I know it was a lot of controversy during the game about the disparity in free throws. The Pistons shot a lot more free throws, but I always say the team with the momentum seems to be the team that gets the most free throws. I think that's just human nature. It's like when you see somebody putting in that amount of effort, you tend to lean in their favor. And yeah, to me, it just looks like, and the Knicks were playing hard, but to me, it just looks like the Pistons were just a step ahead. It was just a step more intensity, a step more urgency behind the way they were playing, and they got the victory. So I think it's 1-1 now with the Pistons and the Knicks. But like I said, I must say that I actually enjoyed watching that game, to my surprise. What else is going on? Memphis got beat by OKC again. And this kind of, I think this would be kind of a good segue into the next topic, and that is Kobe Bryant's view on criticism. And I say that because, Memphis has been getting demolished by OKC. And Ja Morant, to me, he's one of those players like that talks a big game, but he can't back it up. And when I say back it up, it's not just himself as a player. Again, when you are the superstar for a franchise, when you are the franchise player, to me, that means you have to do everything in your power to win. And that goes outside of yourself. That's not just your own personal skills at the game of basketball, but that's understanding how to get the best out of your teammates. That's understanding how to get your teammates to play their hearts out for you. And to me, Ja Morant is lacking. And, he's a superstar who's taking some criticism. Excuse me. Taking some criticism. He had the gun incidents happen, which led to, him being singled out for making the gun gesture in games, which, again, I don't think was necessarily fair. But at the same time, to me, when you give a player a warning and they deliberately come back and throw it in your face the very next game, as if to say, I don't care what you say, I'm going to do what you want, then to me, there needs to be some sort of consequence. But it's not just Ja Morant. I think this is the LeBron James era. This is the era of players not knowing how to deal with criticism, not understanding that the way to deal with criticism is by fixing the things that people criticize you about so that they don't have anything else to criticize you about. So without further ado, one of the people who represents this way of thinking is none other than Kobe Bryant. And we know Kobe Bryant was a student of Michael Jordan. He was, I would say, more than anybody else was a student of Michael Jordan. But Kobe Bryant was a student of the game. There's endless accounts of various players who Kobe Bryant went to get advice about the game. And, you know, the more time goes on, it feels like the more stories get exposed of people who Kobe went to and say, hey, how do you do this? How do you do that? How can I improve on this? One of the most recent stories I saw was Reggie Miller, you know. But anyway, without further ado, let's check out this clip from the late, great Kobe Bryant.
How did you handle it? How did you handle criticism?
Exactly that way. You deal with it and you move on. I mean, the most important thing is the game. Can't lose sight of that. It's not what people think of you, right? But it's the game. Are you leading the team the right way? Are you doing the necessary things to study your craft, to put your team in the best possible situation to be champions? That's the only thing that matters. Criticism is going to come and go, right? You can have a great game on Monday. Everybody loves you. Have a horrible game on Tuesday. You're the worst, right? It's going to be cyclical until you win a championship, and then everybody will calm down and love you for like 2 weeks, and then they'll say you can't repeat. That's just the way it is.
There you go. Criticism, you take it and you move on. He said, what's most important is the game. It's to stay focused on the game. It's to stay focused on the things that lead to winning. And I say this is not just a great way of thinking for the game of basketball, but this is a great way of thinking for life, period. You know, no matter what it is that you do, whether you're a musician, an accountant, you know, whatever it is that you do, especially the thing that you do for a living, and or the thing that you do that's your dream, is that the focus has to stay on that. You can't start thinking about what people think about you. You simply focus on the thing that you are trying to become better at, and you keep getting better at it. And like Kobe Bryant said, he said, criticism comes and goes. He said, you know, they love you. You have a great game on Tuesday, they love you. The next day you have a bad game and they hate you. That's the nature of what it is. And that is how it has always been. This is not anything new in the LeBron James era, like they tried to make it out to be. You know, all these players like LeBron James and Kevin Durant who, you know, want to be mad at the media for the criticism, want to be upset with the fans for the criticism. This is not anything new. Not even with the GOAT, Michael Jordan. If, you know, people who actually remember back then, they remember the media will switch up on you at the drop of a dime. You have a great game, it's all praise. You have a couple of bad games in a row, and it starts to be like, especially if you remember when Michael Jordan first came back from the first retirement. It was like, oh, well, maybe he's not as good as he used to be anymore. You know, maybe he's not Superman anymore. But this is just part of the game. The criticism is part of the game of life. But you stay focused on the game. You stay focused on the things you're trying to get better at, and you shut the critics up. And I feel like this is something that this current generation of superstars have not been taught. You know, it seems like they haven't been taught it from a young age. But continuing with that, they haven't been taught it since being in the NBA. Obviously, part of that reason is because of who the face of the NBA has been. The face of the NBA has not taught them that, hey, when the critics talk, you work on your game and you shut up the critics on the court. That's how you shut up the critics. You don't shut up the critics by hopping on Twitter and saying, oh, well, you know, they're criticizing us more than they criticize anybody else. They didn't do this to people back then and blah. Why can't we just appreciate the game as it is now, the way they appreciated the 70s and the 80s? Blah, 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 blah. This is an ongoing thing, you know. Like I said, it expands the boundaries of sports. It is not just about sports. This is in life. You are going to get criticism. And the way that you deal with it is by being as good as you can at the thing that you do. And we know Kobe Bryant, you know, Kobe Bryant had to deal with much more adversity than LeBron James. Kobe Bryant, when he came out of high school, he didn't come into a league that was ready to turn over the keys to a young superstar like that. On top of the fact that he came in with Shaq already being the guy on the team. Shaq was the guy on the team. You know, and so Kobe Bryant had to work his way through that. You know, not getting played as many minutes in the beginning, meaning it took him longer to fill out the game and work on the things in the game that he needed to work on to become his best self in the NBA. Kobe Bryant didn't come in with the keys handed over to him. He had to fight and earn his place. And then, like I said, we talk about the case that Kobe caught where, you know, it was more important than ever that he stay focused on the game of basketball. And then the injuries and all these things. And then, you know, and getting rid of Shaq off the team or Shaq leaving the team and him having to figure out how to win, not having a dominant force like Shaq on his team. So Kobe Bryant had to overcome a lot of things through his basketball career that LeBron James simply did not have to overcome. You know, LeBron James came in and they did hand over the keys to him. LeBron, and not to mention, for someone who constantly complains about criticism, LeBron James is actually the most protected superstar I believe we've had, because LeBron James has not had to answer to any serious allegations. He has not had to address the PEDs. He has not addressed them. He has not had to address the Diddy allegations. He has not had to speak on it at all. When previous superstars, allegations come up like that, you are at least going to have to say something. You're going to have to say something about it. And so LeBron James is the most protected superstar in that way. And again, LeBron James, the NBA has let this guy bend and break rules all over the place to accommodate this manufactured career. So, yeah, we're going to hold up here. But like I said, I just thought that was a matter of fact, you know what, let me play that one more time. LeBron James fanboys, you guys should pay particular attention to somebody who actually has some insight. To somebody who has some insight because they were the kind of person who got wisdom from other people. That is how you get wisdom. You don't get wisdom by trying to figure out everything on your own. You get wisdom by going to other people who has wisdom to give to you. And Kobe Bryant was a sponge for that wisdom. And so that's why Kobe Bryant sounds insightful when he talks, and LeBron James sounds like a 16-year-old kid when he talks. But anyway, let's check out this clip one more time.
How did you handle it? How did you handle criticism?
Exactly that way. You deal with it and you move on. I mean, the most important thing is the game. Can't lose sight of that. It's not what people think of you, right? But it's the game. Are you leading the team the right way? Are you doing the necessary things to study your craft to put your team in the best possible situation to be champions? That's the only thing that matters. Criticism is going to come and go, right? You can have a great game on Monday. Everybody loves you. Have a horrible game on Tuesday. You're the worst, right? It's going to be cyclical until you win a championship. And then everybody will calm down and love you for like 2 weeks. And then they'll say you can't repeat. That's just the way it is.
Just the way it is, people. That's just the way it is. Criticism is part of life. LeBron James fanboys, criticism is part of life. To the younger generation who may be watching my channel, criticism is part of life. So again, you can't focus on the criticism. You just have to continue to focus on the thing that you are trying to get better at and continue to focus on yourself. But anyway, we are going to hold up here. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Well, first of all, what do you guys think of that Detroit versus New York series, the Pistons versus Knicks series? Is it just me, or to me, that's the most exciting series in basketball by far, honestly, for me personally? Like I said, that's the first game that I kind of enjoyed watching in a very, very long time. So let me know what you guys think about that, and what did you think of what Kobe Bryant, the late great Kobe Bryant, had to say about criticism and how you deal with the criticism. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. You all have a truly fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. All right.